Okay, here we go. It's Andrea Reed in Oklahoma, and we are going to do a fascial maneuvers class together. So let's get started. Go ahead and stand with your feet shoulder width apart, and we're going to check in with the body, check in with the breath. Just take a moment and drop in. And your invitation is to just take stock, take inventory of what you notice in the body in this moment before we get started. So you're invited to scan from the feet up. Maybe you notice what you notice. See if you notice any tension in the feet, knees, hips as you scan up through the body. Notice if you notice any tension in the abdomen, solar plexus region, heart, chest, shoulders. Do you feel any tension in the shoulders? Neck, jaw, head. How's your mind? Is your mind racing? Angle this down a bit here. You feel like you have lots of thoughts happening all at once. I want to take a breath and let's get started with some fascial maneuvers. And then we'll check back in at the end of this again so we can compare and see how you notice, what you notice different. So we're going to stand with feet shoulder width apart, and we're going to engage that spinal pelvic block. And if you've never done that before, this is bringing the belly button into the spine and then pulling the pelvic floor up like you're holding your pee. Okay. And take your right foot, cross it over your left. Take your right hand, place it in your left armpit. Left hand on top of your right shoulder. Give yourself a little hug. Turn your head to the left. Rotate your body to the right and stick your tongue into your right cheek. Just looking for a tight spot. Once you have that tight spot, push your tongue into that tight spot on the right side of your cheek, and let's breathe together, in through the nose, out through the nose 6 times. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let the tongue drop. Purse your lips like you're going to sip breath through a straw. Rotate your body a little bit further to the right, head a little bit further to the left. And we're going to sip in breath and hold it 3 times. Breathe in. More. More. And exhale. 2. Again. Again. Hold. And exhale. And one more time, breathe in. Hold. 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 And exhale. Now find a spot over your left shoulder and lock your eyes on that. And we're going to do 6 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathe in. 2. 3. 4. 5. And 6. Okay, rotate your upper body and head back to center. We're going to turn your head to the right, upper body to the left. Find a spot in the right side of the cheek that's tight with your tongue and push into it. And let's breathe together in through the nose, out through the nose 6 times. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Purse your lips, drop the tongue. 3 staged breaths. Breathe in, hold, hold, and release. Again, breathe in through the mouth. Hold, hold, and release. One more time. Breathe in through the mouth and hold, hold, and release. Lock your eyes over that right shoulder. See if you can rotate a little bit further to the left with your body, head a little bit further to the right. Lock your eyes on one spot and let's breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Come back to center and slowly unwind your arms and your legs. And let's take a little walk to integrate that. Notice how you feel in the shoulders, in the hips. May feel a little lightheaded. That's perfectly normal. Okay, let's do the other side. Feet shoulder width apart. Engage the spinal pelvic lock, bringing your belly button into the spine and holding your pee, pulling your pelvic floor up. Take your left foot, cross it over your right. Left hand goes in your right armpit, right hand goes on top of your left shoulder. Give yourself a hug. I really need it today. So turn your head to the right and find a tight spot in the right cheek. Push your tongue into it, rotate your body to the left. And if you have balance issues, if you wobble a little bit like I am today, it's okay to step a little bit further out and give yourself a little bit more space in between your feet. So head to the right, body to the left, tongue is in the right cheek, and we're going to breathe together in through the nose, out through the nose. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Purse your lips, staged breaths. Breathe in through the mouth. Hold, hold, and release. Again, breathe in, hold, hold, and release. And the third time, breathe in through the mouth and hold. Again, again, and release. Find that spot over the right shoulder, lock your eyes on it. 6 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, head and body back to center. I'm going to adjust my feet a little bit closer together. I needed an extra breath there. Turn your head to the left. Find that tight spot in your left cheek with your tongue and push it in. Mine's a different place this time. Okay, once you find that tight spot, push in, rotate your body to the right, and breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Drop the tongue, purse your lips. Staged breaths, breathe in, hold, hold, and release. Again, hold, hold, and release. One more time, breathe in. Again, again, and release. Check in with that spinal pelvic block. Rotating your head a little bit more to the left, body a little bit more to the right. Breathe in and out through the nose 6 times. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Slowly return back to neutral. Unwind the arms and the legs. And let's take a little walk to integrate that. We're taking a walk so we can inform our body that there have been some changes that have been made. And this is the new way it feels now without some of that tension. So next we're going to do anti-gravity. We're going to do different types of holds. So since we've done this before together, we're going to jump right in. You're going to take your hands, interlock your fingers, and place them at the base of your skull. And just where this part of the sides of the hands, of the fingers, are engaging with the back of the skull. And I want you to grab the skin, the fascia on the back of the neck, and you're pulling up. Do not push that forward. So we're going to do some breathing together. Looking up at the ceiling, gently pulling that skin upwards, engaging the spinal pelvic block. We're going to breathe together, 3 in through the mouth and out through the mouth. Together, breathe in. 2, 3. In through the nose, out through the mouth, breathe in. 2, and 3. Okay. Now bring your chin to your chest. Engage that spinal pelvic block. Breathe in through the mouth. Rotate the head and neck to the right. Exhale down. In through the mouth. Rotate left. Exhale down. In. Right. Exhale down. In. Left. Exhale down. In. Right. Down. In. Left. Down. Okay. Take your feet a little bit wider apart. You're going to slightly bend your knees, push your butt against the wall, coming into a squat, and you're going to keep your chest and your head up. So you're going to be looking up, spinal pelvic lock engaged. I know it's a lot of things to remember at once. Gently pull up on the fascia on the back of the neck, keeping your hands at the base of the skull. And let's breathe together. Breathe in. Rotate the middle back and upper back to the right. Hold and release. So you're rotating, imagine you're rotating thoracic and cervical. Breathe in. Rotate left and down. Just turning at that mid back. Breathe in. Right and down. In. Left. Down. And do a couple more. In. Right. Down. In. Left. Down. In. Right. Down. Again, in. Left and down. Okay. Keep that skin pulled up on the back of your head. Ooh, and we're going to go down into a full squat. Okay, so you might need to take your feet a little bit wider. We're going to come all the way down. And when we do, you're going to bring your elbows in tight and have your head down, and we're going to breathe together. So all the way down, head down, chin down, spinal pelvic lock engaged. 3 in, 3 out through the mouth. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathe in. 2, 3. Okay, we're going to slowly come up, butt first. See if you can keep that skin pulled on the back of the neck, engaging the fascia. Ooh. I like to hang out here just for a moment. Now we're going to slowly come up, one vertebrae at a time. Slow, slow, slow. As you come up into standing, all the way up, and look up at the ceiling. We're going to hang out here just for a moment before releasing the hands and lowering the arms. And we're going to walk. And it may feel a little lightheaded to you. You may be starting to feel warm. And anti-gravity is really great for decompressing the spine. I don't need to be any taller. I should probably check if it makes me taller. But taking all that tension all the way off the spinal column, all the way down, cranial to sacral. So now we're going to do a swinger. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart. You're going to pull in your spinal pelvic lock. Let's see if we can fix this. Okay, there we go. Okay, so swinger. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart. Pull in your spinal pelvic lock. Slightly bend your knees. We're going to let our hands hang out in front of us. As you start to bend your knees, your hands are just going to touch your knees in front of you. Push your butt back a little bit. Lift your chest, lift your chin. We're looking straight ahead, and take your right hand, place it on your left shoulder. Take your left hand just above your right elbow. You're going to get a grip. You're going to get a good grip just under the bicep here. We're going to pull the skin on the back of the arm, and you're going to lock it down into the elbow. Okay. So grab that, lock it down into place. Turn your head to the right and your upper body to the left, and we're going to pull this arm all the way across, just like this. Breathe in and out through the mouth 6 times. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. This is the fun part. So we'll take a little walk to integrate. And I really love this part because as before we do the other side, and you don't always have to do the other side, you can customize it based on what your body needs. But I notice a lot more tension in the side that I haven't done. So sometimes we're doing this and we don't notice the changes. So it's always good to kind of check back in midway and see. Okay. Same thing, other side. Come into a squat, put your hands in front of you. Now we're going to take left hand on right shoulder. We're going to grab the right hand, grab that fascia. We're locking that in place at the elbow. We're going to rotate over and, excuse me, I missed a step. You're going to turn your head to the left and body to the right and come on down into a squat. And now we're going to breathe. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Slowly come up. Walk around. See how that feels. Man, fascial maneuvers are an extreme sport. This is great. I'm already noticing my hips are popping from just working on the shoulders. Super cool. Okay, this one's called pullover. So you're going to stand with feet shoulder width apart, pulling in the spinal pelvic lock. Taking a moment in between to move into the next maneuver. So I'm going to take your right hand, place it on the back of the left shoulder. We're going to pull this like a U shape up and over. So you're going to pull this up and over to lock it in. You're going to take your left hand, reach around to your right ribs, and you're going to pull that forward and lock that in place. Okay. Lift your left shoulder as high as you can while keeping the rest of the body still. And we're going to squat. Bring that shoulder over and breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, slowly come up. What this is doing is we're locking up here and we're locking over here so that all the breath can be moving into this side of the body and opening everything up. Let's do the other side. That finally got that diaphragm release I've been looking for. So if you're doing this along with me, love to know how you're feeling. Okay. Checking in with the body, feet shoulder width apart, engaging your spinal pelvic lock. You know, we're pulling that in tight so everything's moving around the spinal column. Take your left hand on the right shoulder. There you go. Take the right hand, left hand on right shoulder, pulling that up and over, locking it into place. Take your right hand onto the left rib cage, engaging with that fascia, and then pulling it all the way around, also locking that in place. Okay? Turn your head to the right, raise your right shoulder as high as you can, slowly squat, come down, and breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Slowly unwind to a standing position and let's walk. I can really feel like these attachments alongside of here starting to come undone. It's good. good stuff. Okay, pretzel squat. This is becoming one of my favorite ones. I found it challenging at first for some reason. I think I was in my head too much. So stand with your feet shoulder width apart, pull in the spinal pelvic lock. You're going to take your right foot and place it at the heel, your heel against the arch of your left foot. Take a step about 3 feet over, just like that. This is becoming one of my favorite ones for tension patterns in my body with anxiety and restricted diaphragm and previous panic attacks, stuff like that. So bring your left arm around, forward, take your right hand, place it, the back of your hand on the glute, on your right butt cheek. Take your left hand, place it on your right shoulder. Take your right hand and you're going to slide it up between your shoulder blades, palm facing out. Got a nice adjustment there. Okay, turn your head to the left. Keeping that spinal pelvic lock engaged, we're going to slowly squat. My head was already left. There we go. Slowly squat down and let's breathe together. In through the mouth, out through the mouth. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now switch arms. I'm going to take your right hand on your left shoulder and your left hand between your shoulder blades, palm facing outward. Crackety crack, crack. My shoulders are cracking. Okay. Turn your head to the right and let's breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Slowly come up. Feeling really oxygenated now. Take a little walk. My dog would be freaking out if he was in here hearing me tell all the times I've said, let's take a walk. Okay, let's do the other side. So, and here he comes. Engage the spinal pelvic lock, pulling the belly button into the spine, pulling the pelvic floor up. Take your left heel, place it into your right arch of your foot. Take about 3 feet step across, keeping that T shape. Okay. Getting warm. So you're going to take your right arm. I have to remember to put the AC on before we start filming these things. Take your right arm and rotate your upper body as far as you can to the left. Take your left hand and put it on the back of your left butt cheek. Okay. Right hand goes on the left shoulder. Left hand goes up behind the shoulder blades, in between the shoulder blades. Palm facing out. Turn your head to the right. Let's squat, keeping the spinal pelvic lock engaged, and let's breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Switch arms. Left hand goes on the right shoulder. Right hand goes between the shoulder blades, palm facing up. Turn your head to the right, and let's breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, slowly come up. Let's walk to integrate that. I'm going to walk the other way. I always do the figure 8 in the same direction. I'm going to challenge my brain and walk around in a different direction now. I hope you're having as much fun watching this as I am doing this. This is so great. Okay. Arms, shoulders, and hands. We're going to work on those next. This is my favorite part because I had a break about a year ago, distal radial break on my right hand. I was told I would never have full rotation of my right hand again. So we're going to actually start on the left hand. I'm going to stick your left hand out in front of you, palms up. And with your right hand, you're going to take the fingers of your right hand, you're going to place them at the end of the fingers of your left hand, and you're going to stretch that out. You're going to pull the left fingers towards you, locking that into place. So you'll feel that forearm tension in there. And once you have that locked into place, bring your arm over your head and then bend your elbow and slowly lower it to your ribs. So now you've got that locked into place. So we're slowly moving the pressure up into the shoulder. We're going to release and get the shoulder nice and juicy and moving around. Now, we're going to rotate. It's feeling intense in my wrist, so I'm pausing for a moment. Wow. Okay, so we're going to rotate the fingers outward. And that's the beautiful thing about this work is like waves of unexpected sensation can just come up spontaneously as the body's releasing old trauma, old emotions, things stored in different parts of the body that have different meanings. Wow, it's very cool. Okay. So we've got this in place. You should feel some pressure driving up into the shoulder now. And we're going to rotate the head to the right, torso to the left. We're going to squat down and breathe in and out of the mouth 6 times. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you want to have some bonus points, you can take the leg behind you and do a couple breaths like this. And just because we're here, why not? Let's do the other side. Awesome. Slowly come up. Slowly release the fingers. This can feel intense at first. And when you release, sometimes it feels like I don't even have control over my hand when I let that go because the pressure has been locked in so many different places. So if you notice that, it should subside. I have a lot of heat coming out of my fingers. That is really cool. Okay, releasing what no longer serves us, right? Let's do the other side. Twisty wristy. Place your right arm out. This is the part where my husband said it was like the hokey pokey. Okay. Tangent. He was reading my notes. He was going to write little, put your left foot in, put your left foot out. Now I know what he's talking about. Put your right arm out. Grab your fingertips. It's getting loopy in here. And you're going to take your left hand on the right fingers. And you're just going to pull those down. So you're pulling your fingers on the right hand towards you, locking the pressure in at the wrist and the forearms. I can feel that all the way up to my elbow. Lift your arm to the sky. If you can't get it all the way up, that's okay. Just do your best. And then slowly bring your elbow down. Woo, mama. Locking it to your ribs. And that will feel intense. The more times you do this, the less intense it feels, but then there's always surprises like emotions jacking the boxing out of you. We're going to rotate the fingers outward. There we go. Okay, turn your head to the, turn your head to the left, body to the right. Making sure that spinal pelvic block is engaged, and let's squat and breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, take that right leg back and let's breathe. And if you want, take that left leg back and breathe. And slowly come up. Slowly release the fingers. Ah! And let's walk. Fun story about Twisty Wristy. I just did this with my mom on Zoom. My mom lives in Victoria, British Columbia, where I grew up. And she's had wrist breaks, shoulder surgeries, all kinds of stuff. So I was like, hey, practice this with me. And we did a little Twisty Wristy. And I said, she was seated when she did it. I said, go ahead and stand up and walk around, Mom. She's in her mid 70s. And the look on her face completely changed because little did I know, she'd been having trouble walking in the house. She'd been limping and looked at my dad with this face of complete shock and said, we just worked on my arm and now I can walk across the house with no pain. And I said, yeah, yep, with complete conviction because of how we're being taught and how the body actually works. So just amazing. All right, speaking of wrists, we're gonna do wrist release. This one, again, this one was super helpful for me to break up some scar tissue that I had in my wrist from a previous break. So let's start out on the left hand out. You're gonna grab your wrist with your right hand. You're gonna twist the fascia out. So we're gonna do some counter rotation. This hand is gonna be twisting out. At the same time, this hand is rotating in. Ooh. And if this is the first time you've ever done this, it may feel intense. You're going to pull your hand through, kind of like you're putting a glove on, like you're pushing your hand through that tension. And move your wrist and fingers around slowly. And then if you really want some more leverage, see, you can actually, everything's connected, right? So we can move everything around like this. When you're working on the wrists, you're also working on the ankles. So we're moving around. And if you want to get some more leverage, you can actually take that right elbow. I'm going to put it over here. And to get some more leverage to get that rotation. And then release when you're ready. There's, I don't know if you can see the difference in color. There's like a lot of heat coming out of my hands right now. A lot of old tension. Okay, right hand. Grab your wrist with your left hand. You're gonna twist the fascia out. No, we're doing it this one. Palm facing up. Twist the fascia out. Rotate that hand in, and like you're pushing through, like you're pulling on a glove. And you can just move your fingers around. There's no wrong way to do this. Find where your lines of tension are. Like I find it right here. And we just breathe. And this is where you get to be empowered with what works for you and your body and what your body's been through, because we are all unique. So where my lines of tension are, it's going to be totally different than you. If you want that leverage, bring that left elbow down to the left knee. And breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. When you're ready, you can release that. Are we having fun yet? This is so great. It's so great. I love being energized in doing a class. Okay, we did the wrists. We worked on the shoulders. We're going to work specifically on the elbows now. Again, knowing that when we work on the elbows, we're also working on the knees. So this one's called elbow torque. This is going to release tension through the arms, through the upper body muscles, shoulders, and chest. But again, like I said, it's going to also help the lower body, specifically the knees. So we're going to put your left hand on the back of your left shoulder on your trap. Take the palm of your right hand, place it over top of the actual bone of the elbow. And this is simply, we're just going to grab onto it and torque that elbow and breathe. And we're actually going to go right into overhead elbow torque with this. So keeping that elbow rotated with your right hand, we're going to lower it over the head, raise it over the head. We're going to lean to the right, creating all that space on the left side. We're going to look up into the armpit and breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So similar to pretzel squat, when we did that, we're also opening up this whole side of the body. So think left lungs, making more space in the kidneys, stomach, intestines, all the digestion. We're creating more space, and when we create more space, more flow, the organs can be freer, the body can do what it's designed to do. That one needs a walk. Let's do a little walk with that. I underestimate the power of the walking for integration. And sometimes I go straight into the next move. But wow. I really notice a difference in how that feels. And now this whole side feels like janky. So let's do elbow torque and overhead elbow torque on the right side. So take your right hand, put your right hand out, put it on your right shoulder, grab your, promise I won't do those in actual classes. Maybe, no. Left hand palm on the right elbow, and you're going to turn it outward. And we're just going to move around and breathe. See what you feel in the knees, hips. And then we're going to go into overhead elbow torque. Raising that elbow over the head, just do your best. And then lean away from that elbow. So you're leaning to the left, turning your head up to the right, and breathe. Okay. Let that go. We can also modify that and go deeper while you're holding by also putting a foot behind you and breathing. My body felt dead at that point. And we're going to walk. See if you notice that that feels more balanced now on both sides. Okay, we're going to finish up with the upper body portion of the class with arm pull. And so I'm learning that arm pull is extremely powerful to do as a partner maneuver. And in the nature of Human Garage and wanting to empower people to be able to heal themselves, my understanding is that this was modified so that we could do arm pull without a partner, helping ourselves. And with doing the arm pull, a lot of the meridians are connected through here. So this is going to actually support so many of the organs. So we're going to take, wow, okay. Take your right hand. This is the part in the class where my lefts and rights start to get mixed up, and that's okay because I am not perfect, and I'm okay with that. That's my affirmation for the day. Perfection is overrated. Take your right hand, grab your left arm. And we're going to twist that skin back. We're going to pull the arm down. Pull the arm up. So I want you to imagine that you're like pulling the bones of your arm through the skin. Shoulders going up, turn your hand inward. Move around, slowly breathe. Find the angle that has the best line of tension for you. So you're rotating, you're counter rotating, you're pushing and you're pulling. And then we're moving and breathing in all directions. Push that butt back to the wall. Imagine you're trying to get your arm as far away from your butt as possible. When you're ready, you can release and come up. Notice how that feels. Can compare. I feel like this whole left side is like feather light compared to this side, which feels more clunky. So let's balance this out and do the other side. Okay. Right arm out. Take your left hand. You're going to grab as close as you can to the armpit, kind of under the triceps. Twist that skin back. Your palm is facing up. And with your left hand, you're going to pull that arm down and you're going to pull the shoulder up and turn your hand inward. And when you find that line of tension, you're just breathing, moving, coming into a squat. And when you're ready, release. This is interesting because my mind goes to, this is like almost like it's the shoulder version of wrist release. Because we're rotating, counter rotating, pushing, pulling. That's interesting. Okay. All right. So let's release some organs. I absolutely love, I love all of the fascia maneuvers. Some of them I love more than others. And so as release is one that has been so incredibly helpful for me, especially having a lot of digestive issues that I now have a plan on how to correct with the 28-day reset. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the psoas release, which essentially is going to release our digestive system. And when on the right side, the ileocecal valve that's here, this is essentially where the small intestine connects to the large intestine, where your appendix is down here. Your body's immune system, a huge part of your body's immune system is there. And then also that's where, the waste and the nutrients in the waste are kind of separated at that point. And so if there's blockages, if the ileocecal valve is locked open or locked closed, it can create digestive distress. We don't want that. So we are going to release that spot. Take your fingertips, put them in your belly button, and you're going to go about 2 inches over and about 1 inch down. Now, everybody's physiology is different. I have a lot of bloating, small intestine inflammation currently. And so what you're looking for is kind of like a little knot. And you're going to press on that. You'll know when you get it. Sometimes there's even like gurgling happening. So as you press onto that, you've got your palm facing up, facing towards you. And you're going to rotate and the thumbs up. You're going to take the other foot. So we're on the right side. You're going to put the left foot out in front of you. And we're pressing in and rotating on that spot, leaning back. This can feel a little intense, a little birdy sometimes. It's part of the release. We're going to lean back and breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then release. It's the first time I've done that today, and this hip has already clicked. You know you're in a good spot when you start to feel your central organs here gurgling. That's a rest and digest response, and it means that your body is coming out of stress. When we're in fight or flight and our nervous system is hiked up, the body brings all this energy to the extremities, and the organs kind of go cold. So not a lot of action, not a lot of work being done in there. And so when I start to feel that like gurgling, especially working on the organs, I know that my body is de-stressing and that things are starting to wake up and work the way they're supposed to. So that's a reminder for me to start doing my organ reset first thing in the morning. So here we go. Let's do the left side. Proud of myself. I know my left from right. So fingertips in your belly button. You go 2 inches over to the left. I'm going to go about 1 inch down. And you're going to find that tight spot. Whoa, I doubted, but there it is. And this is the small intestine. So as runs in here. It actually runs all the way up. But we're going to release right here, which will help the psoas because organs can get stuck fascially to their neighbors. So we're just going to release that whole area and see how much better it feels. So pressing in, your palms facing you, and you're going to rotate that skin, twist that skin so you got a thumbs up. Whew, I'm feeling that. Okay. Now we're going to take the right foot forward, lean back a little bit, and let's breathe. You can move around if you need to. And release. Definitely take a walk. See how that feels. It's starting to get really quiet. I love this part. Okay. Belly button. This is the belly button torque. Okay. So you're going to stand with your feet shoulder width apart. And you're going to take the pads of your fingers. If you have fingernails, you can use you can actually use like a washcloth if you have fingernails that are going to dig in. Otherwise, just use the pads of your fingers. And as you're going to press into the belly button, so when you look down, your palm is facing up at you. And you're going to press in, and you want to feel like pressure build. I actually use 2 hands to press in. There's a point where you really can't go any further. Might feel a little bit uncomfortable. Might feel a little bit like you're hitting a wall. Whew, yeah, that's it. Now you're going to turn your right hand, and you're going to make like a thumbs up. So you push into the tension, and then you're rotating, so it's thumbs up. You're going to take your hand like this on your back, immediately behind the belly button. And I'm going to show you first before I do it. You're going to rotate down. So you're going to engage with the fascia and twist the skin and rotate down. And now we're going to breathe. Pull in that spinal pelvic lock. Move around if you need to. And I love that you can do these with affirmations too. I haven't figured out an affirmation that I love for this yet. Release your hands from that and let's take a little walk. And you can experiment when you're walking, like just try walking in a circle one time. And then another time, try walking in a figure eight. And then, like I am now, I'm walking in the opposite direction of a figure eight. Then I normally go one way. My brain is having to be challenged to work the other way. Got to create all the new neural pathways. Okay, 2 more. Now we have the solar plexus release. And so when we are torquing, when we're rotating the solar plexus, this is one of my favorites for releasing panic attacks and anxiety. So this Scorpio new moon that came, or excuse me, Scorpio full moon that happened a couple of days ago, a day and a half, 2 days ago, really felt it. I felt like I couldn't catch my breath. No matter how many fascial maneuvers I did, I got some relief from it until I did pretzel squat. I did the overhead elbow torque because it was all on this side for me. And then getting on the solar plexus. And that's just releasing that tension and learning, from your reels educationally, learning how anxiety can usually be diaphragm tension. It's been huge. I used to have panic attacks every night. Not anymore. Okay, so taking your fingers. So similar feeling to how we did belly button torque. You're going to stand with your feet shoulder width apart. You're going to take your right hand, you're going to press it in. So if your ribs meet here, you've got a little bone that kind of sticks down right there. Most people have it. In fact, some people don't. You're going to press right in. This can be like a touchy area too. Solar plexus represents the area of personal power. And if there's been a lot of trauma in someone's history, this part of the body, when we start to release it physically, can bring up a lot of things emotionally. But as you saw with my left wrist, that can happen anywhere in the body. So it is always a gift when things come out. And I like to just say that on the front end in case start to feel things releasing. Be prepared in advance. I'm actually feeling nervous about this one. Okay. So we're going to stand with our feet shoulder width apart. We're going to engage the spinal pelvic lock. We're going to take our pads of our fingertips, or if you have nails, you're going to put a towel over top, use the pad of it, not your fingernails. And you're going to press in just in that little spot right below where the ribs meet. And you're going to do that thumbs up again, like we did with the solar plexus, with the belly button. Then we're going to go behind, directly behind the solar plexus. So now we're mid-thoracic. And we're going to rotate thumbs down. So we got thumbs up and a thumbs down. Lock it in place and breathe. Move around and breathe. Ooh, didn't like that way. There we go. Ooh, and that's one that I like to do every day. And I think it's also because, especially for women, if we have bras that cut in here, there can be some tension around the fascia there. So let's walk. Now I feel like bebopping. My mind is quiet. My body's feeling de-stressed. It's a good day. The last one we're going to do is the bladder release. Not technically bladder release. We're going to release the fascia around the bladder using a torque method, similar to the last two we just did. Very different than a bladder release. Okay, so where your pubic bone is, you're gonna go a little bit higher, and that's your bladder. Palm facing up. I'm gonna place it over there with the balls of your fingers. Push your bladder in until you feel a lot of tension holding this in place. And you can also like lean back a little bit and it should kind of pop out into your hand a little bit, or you should feel it more and get in there. Okay. So once you have that pressed in, doesn't feel right though. I did this earlier. Maybe that's why. I'm going to press in. You're going to rotate the thumb to a thumbs up. So we're torquing that skin. You're an expert at this by now. You're going to take your hand to the back side of where the bladder is, and you're going to place it on your sacrum. So sacrum is here. We're going to place it directly behind where the bladder is, and we're going to rotate thumbs down. So we've got thumbs up at the top, thumbs up, thumbs down at the back, and breathe. Pull in that spinal pelvic lock and breathe. And release. And as someone who has had multiple tailbone falls, I didn't really put that connection together between the impact on the bladder, on the organs in the front, when you have impact on the back. But it's all connected. So, thank you for being in my class. See you next time.